Welcome to Muffin's Guide to the Blitzkrieg server on the game Starport Galactic Empires. Blitz is a fast-paced 2D game that requires skill, teamwork, and split-second decision-making. With this tutorial, I hope to explain the basics of this incredible game. In order to enter the Blitzkrieg server, you need to have an account that is at least 30 days old. When you first enter the server, you will be prompted to create a new character. The only thing we need to worry about here are the attributes. Charisma increases your cash flow. Dexterity increases ship stats, such as turning, acceleration, and energy regen, and Wisdom increases the amount of experience you receive to help your team win the game. If you are new to Blitz, I suggest you just get 555. As you become more experienced, you'll learn which attributes might help you more, and come next season, you can try out a different arrangement. Here you see the rankings. The goal of Blitz is to get the highest rating. You gain rating by winning games, and you lose rating by losing games. If, by the end of the season, you are in first place, you will receive a gold trophy on your profile. Second through fourth place will receive a silver trophy, and 5th through 10th place will receive a bronze trophy. Also, the top 25 players receive some of these tourney points. The higher your ranking, the greater percentage of the pot you will receive. If, when you exit the ranking screen, you're floating around in space, you need to fly towards the starbase and enter it so that you're ready for the next game to start. It's possible that when you created your character, you joined a game without wanting to. If that happens, then just begin blitzing. Otherwise, you can check how long it will be until the next game starts by looking down here. If it reads Game Time Teams Chosen, that means the next game is just about to start, and you'll have to wait for the next one about 20 minutes later. If it reads Game Time Playing, then the time shown to the right is how long it will be until the current game ends. If it reads Game Time Intermission, then the next game will be starting a minute after that timer runs out. And if it reads Game Time Waiting for More Players, then either the next game is about to start, or there isn't enough players online to get a game going. And lastly, if there's no timer, then just click on Game in the upper left corner and click on Rankings. It should appear at that point. If you go to the game menu again and click on Who's Online, you can see if there's enough people for a Blitz game to start. Only people whose names show up as light blue are ready to Blitz. There needs to be at least 2 people ready to play for a game to start. Those whose names are white are in Spectate mode. Now you need to make sure that you are not in Spectate mode by checking to see what color your name is. If it's white, type /spectate to toggle off Spectate mode. Then refresh the Who's Online list to see your new name color, to make sure that you'll be put into the next Blitz game. So, now you're spectated in and waiting for the next game to start. While you're waiting, you can click on shipyards to check out different ships and such. And when the next game does start, you'll see a message that looks like this. You can then go back to the Who's Online menu to check out the teaming situation. The color of your name is the color team that you're on, and everyone who shares that color is on your team. It's very possible that your client will freeze when the Blitz game starts. If that happens, just log out and log back in. Unfortunately, if you then go to Who's Online, you won't be able to see the team colors anymore. So instead, go to Game, and then Blitz Summary. Now you only have about 1.5 minutes to choose your ship, weapons, and mods, because you're going to need a good 30 seconds to get to the warp. I'll make more in-depth videos later for good combinations and such, so watch for those. But since you're a newbie, you should ask your teammates what you should purchase by talking in the corporation chat by typing /C. When teams are chosen, you are given the merchant cruiser. Now you can choose to buy a different ship, or you can keep the merchant cruiser to save money. So whatever ship you purchase has a special weapon that comes with it. That weapon is listed here. The amount of shields it can have is here. And cargo holds and warp fuel efficiency don't matter here in Blitz. And if you want to check out other things, such as speed and energy regen, just go to the Starpedia in the computer menu and browse the different ships. Besides the special weapon that you get when you purchase your ship, you can also have 2 other weapons. Click on the Weapons tab to browse the different weapons. You can purchase a weapon here to add on to your ship, but if you want to purchase a 3rd weapon, you'll have to go to the Orders menu, then click Jettison. Highlight your plasma shooter and click Jettison. Now you have an extra spot to buy your 3rd weapon. And once you have your weapons, click on Hardware. Here you can purchase turrets and mines to protect your colony, and nukes and negs to invade a colony or kill other players. You can also purchase more shields here. And if you still have money left over, you can browse to the Modules tab. These mods are passive and blow up along with your ship. Once you've run out of money, or the timer has hit 30 seconds, click on Exit and click over here to display the galaxy map. The galaxy map will have an arrow on it. It could be pointing in any direction. It's completely random, but it's your guide. So go in whatever direction that arrow is pointing in order to be where the warp will appear when the game starts. There should be a gathering of players at this spot, so it shouldn't be too hard for you to find. Now you're going to want to learn how to quickly change your keybinds, because you're not going to have much time to do it. The first step is to click on Computer, then Ship Status. Your weapons are listed here. I call them Weapon 1, Weapon 2, and Weapon 3. Weapon 2 is the special weapon, which comes with your ship. Weapons 1 and 3 are their respective numbers only because of the order you bought them in, and that's why you pull up your ship status to check that order. Once you know the order, click on Game, then Options. Here you can change your keybinds to make the game easier for you. For instance, if I have a tractor beam as my third weapon, I would switch my auxiliary weapon, or third weapon button, to spacebar, because I need to be able to hold down my tractor beam while I fly. And I always bind my flower power to tab. And less important things, like cloaking, I bind as control. Once your keybinds are set, you just have to wait until the timer runs out for the warp to appear. Now this is the galaxy map. This is a more detailed picture of the arrow you looked at earlier. There's 5 systems here, and you start in the system Sol. Once the warp appears, you want to make it to the planet, which is in the system Epsilon Array, as fast as possible. You'll need to go through some side systems though, and I will show you how to do that. Once the warp appears, fly through it. Now you want to hug the edge of the system until you find another warp. You're now in a side system. Continue along this wall, as the map here shows, then warp into the planet system. Now fly towards the center of the system, look for the green circle on your radar, fly towards it, and land on it. There could be 1, 2, or 3 planets, so just fly to any of them. You'll now be on the planet. Now you want to zoom out on your radar and find the big gray circle on it. Then navigate towards that circle and try to ram into it with full energy. This is more difficult than it seems and is something that you won't have to worry about for a while. In general, someone more experienced will be racing for the dome, with you lagging behind. But once someone from either team rams into that gray circle, or caps the dome, as it's usually called, this message pops up. If this is the only newsflash that appears, that means that the other team has capped the dome. If you see this second message, that means that your team has capped the dome. If your team does cap the dome, you can enter it by turning on Enter mode while on top of the dome with 1000 energy. Anytime you enter the dome, you want to make sure that the military in the biodome is 100%. Then click To Planet, and you can then place defenses, move defenses, and defend the dome. Do whatever you can to keep anyone from the other team from hitting that dome with full energy. I'll come out with a video soon on how to defend a Blitz colony, but for now, just know that you almost always need someone with flower power to effectively defend the dome. It is very possible that when a player on your team caps the dome, you get stuck outside of the planet because the other team is defending the outside. If this happens, do whatever you can to destroy their defenses and their flower power, or FP. If you need to, you can fly back to Sol to get some weapons to take out the outside defenses. Putting lasers outside to kill their flax and flower power is also very effective. Once you've cleared the outside, you can land and help defend the dome. If your team does not cap the dome, then your team's flower power should flower power the outside of the planet. Note that the flower power pellets are pulled around the planet by gravity, so movement is unnecessary. All of the mines should be placed directly on the planet, and all turrets should be placed a little ways out from the planet. Once the outside is defended, land and try to cap the colony. The team that holds the colony the longest wins, more or less. Wisdom should also be taken into consideration. If your team wins, you'll gain some rating, and if your team loses, you'll lose some rating. During your first 15 games, your rating will be provisional and will swing up and down dramatically. And now you just wait until the next game begins. And I'll finish this video by mentioning some very important miscellaneous tips. Always ask what to do, and always do what your teammates tell you to, until you're confident in your own abilities. Also, When your teammates ask for money, give it to them by typing /hail and then their name. Lastly, and most importantly, do not lose hope. There will be many jerks who will yell at you and hate you. Just ignore them and continue to improve until they stop yelling at you. Oh, and if you have any questions, ask the player with Muffin in his name. That's me. So, thanks for watching and happy blitzing!